This conference will now be recorded.
So this is what the second session. In the previous session, we have discussed this manual testing concepts. As a part of that, we have seen what is a project, product, error, bug, failure. All these stuff we have seen. Also, we have seen what is functional testing and what is its types, what is non-functional testing and what are its types. We have seen this very clearly. Also, we have discussed Selenium. What is a Selenium suite? Selenium WebDriver is one of the tool in the Selenium suite. Advantages of Selenium WebDriver, disadvantages or limitations. These are the things which we have discussed in the previous class. In this today's class, we'll be starting this Python programming. So introduction to Python programming. So this is what today's session is, a basic introduction session, that how you can install Python, how you can install PyCharm, so how you can run the basic code, so how you can see the comments, how you can do all this stuff. So we'll be discussing in this today's class. So if I present you the agenda, what I will be discussing today is introduction to Python programming language, Python programming language. Also, I'll be discussing history of Python. So from where this Python has been evolved, as well as installation, how you can do installation. So installation of Python. Post this, once you install, you need to run a basic simple code. Base to run Python code. This also we will see. Also post this, for developing of any project, you need IDE, integrated development environment. As a part of that, we'll be discussing this installation of PyCharm, how you can install PyCharm as well. From the day one onwards, you need to be habituated to work on PyCharm, because when you install Python, by default it will get IDLE. It is only for practice. But I suggest to practice the same thing in the PyCharm, which is an popular IDE with respect to Python. Post this, we'll also discuss ways to run code in PyCharm. Most of the people might be knowing this, but uh, please bear with me, because there are a lot of beginners which they don't know. So how you can run the code which you have written in PyCharm. Similarly, post this will also discuss what are comments for every code which you write. Definitely you need to specify comments, so other developer or other tester might be knowing what that particular code does. Post this will also discuss keywords. What are keywords? What are variables? Also we'll discuss what are data types in Python. So this is what today's agenda that I'll be going to discuss with you guys. As a part of this, let me go ahead with introduction to Python programming language. So as a beginner, it is very, very important that we should know what is Python, how it is useful for programming. So Python is general purpose programming language, programming language. So when I am saying general purpose, you can use this particular Python programming language for any purpose. So whether it can be automation, whether it can be big data, whether it can be data analysis, whether it can be scripting, right? DevOps people mostly will use scripting. So for all these purposes, generally you will use this Python programming language. So this Python is called as an general purpose programming language, right? Also, Python is an open source language. Open source. Source means the source code by which this particular code has been implemented. The Python code which you are using it here, which you will be getting after installing Python, you can see that source code as well. So it is open source. That means you can see its source code. Also, once you write your Python program in Windows, you can execute the same program in Linux operating system as well as in Mac operating system. So you no need any interpreter to convert or to compile from high level language to byte code. That means machine understandable code. That means with this particular feature, I can say Python is platform independent. Platform independent. So this is what the most important feature of Python, because right now most of the people are using this Windows laptop. The code which you write in Windows laptop, you'll push your code to GitHub. You will commit your code to GitHub, which is a central repository, with the help of a Jenkins pipeline or Azure pipeline or Hudson pipelines. What you will do, you will execute that code in some remote machine, which is an agent machine. So generally in server world, almost 99% of machines are Linux machines. So the code which you write in Windows, it will be directly executed on Linux machines without any compiler. So this is one of the most important advantage of Python programming language. And one more important thing. So it is simpler. It is simpler than other programming languages. Other programming languages. So when I am saying other programming languages, let me compare Python with C, because at the very beginning from college days onwards you will learn C. Post this, let me make you understand with C++. Let me make you understand with Java. Let me make you understand with Python. So I will compare the code for achieving the same thing, for achieving the same requirement, just for I will use for printing some statement. What I will do, I will execute the same thing in all these languages, whether it be C, C++, Java, Python, in these languages. So if you can see here, I'm just going to here. If you can see, this is what a C compiler. This is what C++ compiler. This is what I am some online compiler which I have taken just for your understanding. So this is Java compiler. This is a Python compiler. So you can see it here. This is what the statement which I want to print it in the console. This is first program. You can see it here. So for achieving this, for printing this particular program, you need to write some 5 to 6 lines of code in C. The same thing, if you can see in the C++, it is also the same thing, like like some 4 to 5 lines of code you need to write for printing this single statement. When you see in Java, Java is a compiler language. Without a class, you won't be able to do anything with Java. So you need to create a class, you need to create a main method. Inside main method, you need to use system.out.println or printf also for printing this particular single statement. You can see if you compare this C, C++, Java, definitely you need multiple lines to do a simple thing, like for printing some simple statement. If you observe in Python, just you will only use print. That means with one statement, one print statement, you'll be able to achieve the thing which is very, very easy, which is very simpler than other programming languages. If you can see it here, let me execute it in C compiler. So you can see it will get the same thing. Also in the C++, you will get the same thing. You can achieve the same thing. In Java also, you can achieve the same thing. As well as in Python also, you can achieve the same thing. But the thing is, you need to observe when compared with all these languages with respect to Python, Python is very, very simple, very, very easy than other programming languages. This is what with respect to this particular point you need to understand. This is what the introduction, which is very, very on a high level I have given you. There are a lot of things which you will be learning going ahead. Once you know some basic introduction to Python, definitely you need to know history from where this Python has been emerged. So if we can talk about history, generally Python implementation has been started in December 1989. In December 1989, Python implementation has been started. Who started this? By Guido van Rossum. Most of the people might be knowing this by Guido van Rossum. He is the inventor of Python programming language, where he has implemented this particular Python programming language at CWI, at CWI labs. CWI labs in Netherlands. So in the CWI labs in the Netherlands, he has implemented this Python programming language. What is a CWI? Centrum Viskundi and Informatica Labs. Centrum Viskundi and Informatica Labs. So these are the labs meant for implementation of this Python programming language by Guido van Rossum in the 1989. Most of the people will think that Java is the first programming language than Python. It is false. Python is the first programming language than Java which is implemented. But because of its capacity of building big enterprise applications, Java has been more popular than Python. But nowadays, if you can see, wherever you go, we are all dealing with the data. To deal with the data, Python has rich library support. So Python is widely used nowadays. So this implementation is started in 1989 by Guido van Rossum at CWI Labs in Netherlands. Also, most of the people will think how this Python name has got. At that particular point of time during 1980s, there is one BBC TV show. BBC TV show actually. So what is that BBC TV show? It is Monty Python's Flying Circus. Monty Python's Flying Circus. So this is what the program at that particular point of time, which was televisioned in the BBC, which is a popular channel. So this is what the this is what the show Monty Python Flying Circus. So from this particular name, Guido van Rossum has been inspired and he has taken this random name Python for this programming language. And so nowadays we have been calling that a particular programming language as Python. So because why he chose it, there is Monty as well, there is Python as well, there is flying as well, there is circus as well. So he wanted some short, unique. Unique means it should be different from other programming languages names, and definitely slightly it should be mysterious name. That means when you listen to that particular name, definitely it should have some sensation that it is somewhat mysterious. So when you talk about Python, generally most of the people will think that snake. It's a mysterious name. So he has taken this particular name, which is very short, unique, slightly mysterious name. So Python. And in 1989, in February 1989, February 1989. So when published first version, so he labeled that first version as 0.9.0. So this is what the first version, sorry, in 1991. It's not 1989, it's 1991. So this is what the first version with 0.9.0 he has released into that market. So post this in 1994, he has released the version, suppose it is Python 1.0. This is what the version which he has released into the market. What are the features included in this particular version? So most of the people, you have already heard this lambda functions. So this is what the feature he has implemented in Python 1.0, as well as map function, filter function, and reduce functions. These are all the things which we will be discussing whenever we will discuss this Python functions concept. But in Python 1.0, this is what the first version which he has upgraded from 0.9.0 to 1.0 has these particular features. And post this, he has also released Python 2.0 version. So this Python 2.0 versions will be having another few important features. So what are those important features? List comprehensions. List comprehensions, very important concept. Whether you are a tester or a developer, without this you can't go ahead for creating any complex code. So generally you will create a list as soon as once you get that particular list enclosed in square brackets, you will just create the list based on some modifications. But if you want to reduce the code to one single line, we'll go for list comprehensions. Easy and compact way of creating list. It is called as a list comprehensions. Post this in the 2.0 only. He has introduced garbage collection system, So generally, if any of the variables are not used, they should be deleted immediately. Otherwise, Python memory will be day by day increasing. To avoid that, to avoid memory problems, garbage collection system has been introduced in Python 2.0 on December 3 2008. In this particular year, he has released Python version 3. So right now in the market, we are having this Python version 3 also. Let me show you that what is that version we are currently having whenever we are going to install Python in our local machine. And yes, he has implemented Python. That is absolutely fine. There should be some base for implementing Python. What is the base for implementing Python? So generally, Python is implemented from ABC language and Modular 3 language. So when I am saying ABC language, yes, most of the people will think that it's some random name. It's not a random name. At that particular point of time during 1980s, there is one programming language, ABC language, and there is another programming language, Modular 3 language. So by combining the features in these two languages, he has implemented Python. If you see here, Python is influenced by, so there are two programming languages at that particular point of time. One is ABC language and the other is Modular 3 language. So these are the two languages at that particular point of time. By combining features in ABC as well as Modular 3 languages, he has implemented this Python programming language. So if you can see, this is what some basic introduction as well as a history with respect to Python programming language. Once you know introduction, once you know history, it's time to install Python programming language. Right now, what I have said, in the market, we are having Python version 3. At that particular point of time in 2008, he has released Python 3.0. Right now, in the market, we are having even a 3.xx version that we'll be seeing right now during installation. Now, what we need to do, we need to install this Python programming language. Post this, you need to run Python code with the help of Python programming language. So if you can see it here, we will see this one by one things installation of Python. Also, we will see ways to run Python code. To install Python, where you will install Python? From the official website. So what is that official website? Most of the people will not be knowing this. Just go to Google. Now, what you need to do, just open this new tab. You might be already knowing this. If you can see, download Python. Just search for this, download Python. Once you search for this, you can see www.python.org. This is for the official website from where you can just download Python. You can see it here, download Python. Click on download Python. Right now in the market, you can see this is what the market, see, we can see this is what first released. So this is what the pre-plan, next version to 3.2. Right now, the version which is having LTS, long-term support, is 3.12.4 right now in the market. What you need to do, if you are working on Windows, just click on Windows here. If you are working on Linux or Unix operating system, just click on respective option. If you are using Mac, just go ahead for Mac OS. So these are the different options which you need to see with respect to the operating system which you are going to use. Now I am using this Windows operating system. Most of the people will be using this Windows operating system. Just this is what the default installation file for Windows operating system. Click on download Python 3.12.4. Click on download. So once you click on download, if you can see, it was an application. It is asking for the location where it needs to be downloaded. Click on save. Once you click on save, it is downloaded. So just go to downloads. Click on downloads. You can see today this is what the file which I have just downloaded. Double click on that. Don't worry, I'll be sharing this particular thing for you as well. So if you can see, this is what the window which you will see because I have already installed this Python in my local machine. Once you have installed Python, again if you download Python, it will show you this particular window, upgrade now. So that means it is asking you to upgrade. I have already the version which is there in my local machine. Let me show you that as well, so that it will be very easy for you to check in your local machine if you are installed. So what I am doing, Python hyphen version. This is what you can see here. Let me show you that Python hyphen version. You can see right now in my local machine I am having 3.12.3, but you can see you are having 3.12.4, which is the latest version than 3.12.3. So 12.4, you can upgrade it, or what you can do, you can just choose another location for installing this. Right now what I will be doing, the same thing you will be doing in your local machine, just do it as it is. People, if you face any issue, I'll be sharing that installation document as well with you, don't worry. So click on upgrade now. Once you click on upgrade now, you can see it here, it is asking for clicking on yes. Once you click on yes, you can see it is upgrading to 3.12.4. I'm just closing this uh, command prompt. It may take some time. You can see it here, setup is in progress. It is taking some time. Allow me to do this. Let me show you that if you are a beginner, how it will look like. I'm just opening this Word document as well. Let me show you some picture. So if you can see guys, at the very beginning, when you click on double click on that Python installation file, so you can see this is what the image you will be seeing this. You can see what you need to do. You need to click on install. So by default, it will install in C, users, admin, app data, local, program, Python. So with respect to version, it will install in this particular location. Or if you don't want to install in this particular location, you can choose another location as well. So for choosing that, you have customize location option. One of the most important thing during installation of any executable file, any application, you can see it here, there is one option, add Python to path. Very important. So once you install Python, during installation of any language, generally I am saying, might be most of the people will not be knowing. So if you can see, during installation, what you need to do, you need to add uh, suppose if you are taking Python to path. When I am saying Python to path, that means path is nothing but an environmental variable. So if you add environmental variable to this path, you can run that particular application from any drive, from any location in your local machine, whether it be C drive, whether it be D drive, whether it be E drive, any drives or any location in your local machine. If you add environmental variable to the path, you can run that particular application from any point or from any location in your local machine. That I will be showing to you right now as well. But what is the shortcut way? During installation of that particular point only, you will be seeing that particular option, add Python 3.9 or with respect to version 3.12 to path. That means you need to add this particular environmental variable to path. This is what the shortcut way. Otherwise, if you don't choose this particular option, you need to do it manually. How you will be doing that manually, I will be showing to you as well right now. Don't worry. We will see whether it is installed or not. You can see setup is successful. It is installed. Click on close. Once you click on close, yes, it is successfully installed. After successfully installed, I have clicked on close. At the very beginning, I have said what you need to do. You need to add Python to path. This is for the shortcut way. During installation of Python, you need to see. Now, what is that manual way? How you can add environmental variable to path? By default, Python is installed in this particular location. So I'm just showing you step by step. Follow this very carefully. Click on C drive. If you are having E drive or D drive, generally by default anything will be installed in the C drive. Click on C drive. Click on users. Click on Dell. This is what the system name which I have. Instead of that system name, you can see this particular picture. You are having admin, but right now in my local I am having Dell. So with respect to your system, with respect to your laptop, will be having some different name. Click on Dell. So once you click on Dell, what you need to do, you need to go to app data. App data is a hidden folder. If you can see it here, right now I am seeing this app data, but generally let me show here. Click on view hidden files. So if you can see it here, there is no folder which you will be seeing with the name app data. That means app data is a hidden folder. By default you will be not seeing that particular folder. How you can see that particular folder? Go to C drive, users, Dell. All these steps are mentioned in the material. Don't worry, just follow as it is. Just now you are also you need to follow this particular class carefully. Post this, you'll get the material with step by step installations, all this stuff. Don't worry. So what you need to do, you need to click on view, you need to click on hidden items, because app data is a hidden item. So click on app data, click on local. So if you can click on local, you'll be seeing this particular programs, or if you can see, just click on programs. You can see it here. Click on programs. So in the programs, you can see a folder with name Python. Click on Python. You can see Python. Right now we have installed a 3.12.x version. Whether it be 4, 3 or anything, it is a 3.12. So you can see this is what the folder 3.12. It is 312 folder. So click on that. Double click on that. So once you click on that, what you need to do, just click on scripts. So once you click on scripts, or if you can see, just to take this particular location, let's go to live site packages. Yes, you all be having all this stuff. What you can do, just take this control C, just to copy this particular location. Just come here, just paste it here for now. That I'll be showing to you how you can add this particular uh, 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 path to environmental variables. If you can see, just click on this search item, search for environmental variables. You can see it here, edit environmental variables. So you can see it will open this environmental variables window. So just come here, scroll down. You can see system variables. So in the system variables, you can see it here, there is an option path. This is the path variable with respect to system, right? So system variable, just it is not even editing. Let me give me some time. So if you can see, just search for environmental variables. So if you can see, click on this environmental variables. Now you can see it is enabled. So that is for account. Right now you can see it here. So just click on path, click on edit. So in this particular location, you need to add that particular Python path which you have just taken right now. You can see it here. This is one thing. System variables. Just let me close this here. You can see, just click on edit. You can see it here, guys. We have installed this Python latest version, Python scripts. So this is already by default installed, because we have already clicked on that this add path to, add Python to path. If it is not done, what you need to do, you need to click on new. Just take this particular location. This is what the location which you need to take. So just come here, click on new, just paste it here. So, and you need to specify that scripts. This is what the folder which you'll be having in Python location. You need to paste this particular location where this particular script is available. So this is what the location. Once you add this particular location or variables to path environmental variables, just click on OK. Right now I am not doing this. The reason is I have already have the things in place, because I don't want to do this manually. During installation only, if I allow this to check, I don't have to bother about all these things. So I'm just clicking on cancel. Once I click on cancel, all the things are unsaved. Now this is what you need to do. Once you install Python, it's time to check whether it is installed successfully or not. How to check whether it is installed successfully or not? to check what you need to do, you need to go to command prompt. Very, very important thing you need to do. So just click on open. Once you click on open, what you need to do, search for Python. Once you search for Python, it will show you with version. Right now we have installed 3.12.4. The same version is highlighted here along with the prompt. So this prompt is nothing but it is asking the user to enter some command with some statements or anything. Anything, just it is asking for user input. This is nothing but a Python prompt. So if you can see it here, these three symbols, these three caret symbols or arrow symbols, I can say, this is nothing but Python prompt. Python prompt. What this Python prompt will do? It is asking for user input. If you see this anywhere, that means it is asking for user input. So this Python prompt allows us to input something. So nothing but asking for input to execute. This is what you need to understand if you see it anywhere. This is nothing but Python prompt. Prompt means it is asking for you to enter something, right? So this is what you need to check once you installed Python. You need to check this particular location as well. You need to go step by step, del app data local programs. This is what the location which you'll be seeing. Post this, what you need to do, you need to check which version of Python. There are a lot of versions which you can install in the same machine. So for that reason, what you need to do, you need to check which version of Python you have installed in your local machine. So when you enter Python, you'll be seeing this particular version. Or one more thing, instead of this, you don't want to have any confusion, what you can do, just search for Python hyphen hyphen version. This is what the command which it will be showing directly with the version without any prompt. So in this way also you can just search or check which version of Python you have installed in your local machine. Now once you install Python, what you need to do, you need to write some simple code so that what you can do, you can run your Python code. How many ways you can run your Python code? There are three ways. There are three ways. Once, see, I am talking with respect to Python only. I am not talking with respect to any IDE or anything. With respect to Python, if you write any Python code, how many ways you can run your Python code? So if you can see here, first way is run Python code. Run Python code through IDLE. IDLE, very, very important thing. So this IDLE, it is also nothing but it's a Python shell. Python shell. So shell is for executing some scripts. By default, when you install Python, along with Python, you will get IDLE. IDLE means, so if you can see, let me write it very clearly. These are the basic stuff which you need to know. Most of the people will not cover this, but these are the basic stuff which you need to know. Integrated learning, learning and development environment. Sorry, integrated development and learning environment. Learning environment. So it is only meant for learning, especially meant for learning. Those who are beginners are very, very new to programming. They can execute what they have written, that particular code in IDLE. So first way to run Python code is through IDLE, integrated development and learning environment. What is the another way of running Python code? So the other way of running Python code is run through command prompt. Command prompt. At the end of the day, whatever the automation code which you write, you need to check whether it is perfectly running in your local machine or not. So once it is successfully running in your local machine, then the same code will successfully execute in agent machines. So you will execute your code in the command prompt. So at the very beginning, you will also run your Python code in the command prompt. What is the last way of running your Python code? So you can run your Python code. So if you can see, through Notepad or Notepad plus plus. Notepad or Notepad plus plus. So these are the three different ways how you can run your Python code. Let me make you understand with one by one way so that you will be very comfortable. First thing is how you can run your Python code. First is by using IDLE, Integrated Development and Learning Environment. How you can open this IDLE? Just come here, just click on the search button. Search for IDLE. So once you search for IDLE, you will be seeing this particular application. So it will be saying that Python along with the version. Just click on that, open that. So once you open that, you can see this is what the prompt which it is asking for the user input along with the version. Now what you can do, just maximize this if you feel any difficulty. So what you can do, just I am entering some input to this particular prompt. So what is that particular input? Just this is what some simple thing which I'm making you understand. Print off. You will use print statement to print anything in the console. I'm just using the same thing. This is a first Python code. This is first Python code. This is first Python code. This is what the thing which I'm just printing at the very beginning. So if you can see it here. So once I click on enter, you can see this is what the code which it is printing in the console. This is first Python code. Now let me do one thing. Let me print off 10 plus 20. So these are two integers. I want to print it some. So 30 has been printed in the console. Similarly, let me do one thing. Print off. Let me uh, uh, concatenate two strings. One is suppose if you can take Samuel. This is one string. Let me concatenate this with Ambika. Right? These are two strings. So if you can see by using this concatenation operator, yes, we'll be discussing this whenever we are discussing this string data type. You can see Samuel Ambika. So these two strings has been concatenated and been printed in the console. So these are all simple Python codes with the help of a Python shell. Nothing but ideally I'll be executing. And if you can see, once I enter one statement, once I click on enter, you will be seeing the result. Along with the result, again it is asking for the prompt. But this is not the proper way. If I want to write multiple codes, I don't want to I don't want this behavior. Yes, we'll be seeing this IDE as well, integrated development environment. But this is what the one of the way how you can run your Python code by using this IDLE, integrated development and learning environment. What is that another way? If we see that another way, it is through command prompt. So just now we have seen at the time of checking the version, it is asking for the prompt as like in the IDLE. So I'm just closing this, opening this command prompt one more time. So you can see it here. Once I search for Python, you can see along with the version, it is asking for the prompt. You can see it here. This is what the version. Also, it is asking for the prompt. So if you can see, let me do one thing. Let me use print of. Let me use a print of. This is first Python code. First Python code. First Python code. This is what I'm just printing in the console. Now, once I click on enter, you can see the same has been printed in the console, and again it is asking for the prompt. Now what I will do, let me do one thing. Let me sum 10 plus 20. If I sum 10 plus 20, it is 30. Similarly, let me do one thing. Let me take some Obama. It is one string. Let me take Biden. Right. So if you can see, these are the two strings which I'm just concatenating. I'm printing in the console. So this is another way. One is through IDLE, integrated development environment, and the other way is through command prompt. So these two ways we have seen just right now. What I will do, I will just close this command prompt as well. I will just keep my code in the notepad or notepad plus plus. Along with this, what I will do, I will just execute this Python code with the help of this notepad or notepad plus plus. So if you can see here, let me go to some any folder. So if you can see, let me come here in the Dell, right, or in the users. What I will do in the so-called C disk, let me create one Python file. Click on new, right. It is only asking for nothing other than this particular folders, just click on users. So, or right click on this. Yes, it is asking for click on Dell. So what you can do, these are all the Python programs which I have already returned in some text document. You can see it here. This is what some test document. Let me do one thing. Python program. Just I will open this by using Notepad++. You can see it here. Print. This is Selenium with a Python class. This is what the statement. Or let me do one thing. Let me do it step by step so that you will be understanding. Let me delete this, or let me do one thing. Let me delete all these things. For your understanding, I am deleting these previous things. Give me some time, guys. So I'm just creating one more file, text file. So you can see. So Python demo. This is what some text file which I'm just creating. So I will open this particular thing. So once I open, let me have some statements here. So what I will do, let me print. This is suppose hello world. Let me do this. Hello world. Right. This is my first Python program. First Python program. This is what I'm just printing. This is one statement. Now let me do one thing. Let me specify another two statements as well. X equal to suppose 100. Suppose y equal to some 200. Let me print x and y. X plus y. There's some I'm just printing in the console. This is what the simple codes which I have written in the notepad. You can do the same thing in the notepad++ as well. Now what you need to do, click on file, click on save as. What you need to do, save this with all files with the .py extension. .py. Once I specify .py, this particular notepad which is containing this Python program will be saved with Python file extension .py. So click on save. Once you click on save, come here. You can see it here. The same file has been saved with Python demo with .py extension. So it is saying that it is a Python file. You have specified your code. You need to execute this particular code. So this is the last way how you can execute Python code which you specified in the text file and saved it with the .py extension. Now go to command prompt. Command prompt, I am just going. Right now you are there in the same location. So del see users del in the same location only you are having this Python demo. Now what you need to do, you need to use this particular command Python because it is a Python file. Now you need to specify that file name Python demo.py. Once you click on enter, you can see it here, hello world, this is my first Python program along with some 100 plus through 100 has been printed in the console. This is how you can execute your Python code by using IDLE, by using command prompt, and by using notepad. Specifying the code in the notepad, saving that with the .py extension, executing that particular file.
This conference will now be recorded.
So we have seen these particular things: introduction, history, installation, how you can run Python code. Now it's time to install PyCharm. You have seen in the IDLE in the command prompt what is the issue. You can only enter one command or one statement. You cannot write multiple statements at a time, and you cannot execute multiple statements at a time. You cannot write and you cannot execute. Generally, if you want to develop any big enterprise application, you need to write 100,000, 10,000 lakhs lines of code. For writing that particular code, instead of IDE, you will use IDLE. IDLE. Right now, we are just talking about this installation of PyCharm. So if you can see it here, we'll be seeing PyCharm. So before going to PyCharm, as I have said, you need IDE. What this IDE means, integrated development and integrated development environment. So it is only meant for development. If you want to develop anything, definitely you need to write lots of lines of code. So for that particular reason, you need IDE. What are the most popular IDEs with respect to Python? So generally, popular IDEs. Popular IDEs. Working with Python is one of the most popular IDEs PyCharm. Also, VS Code, Visual Studio Code, which is from Microsoft. You will also have IntelliJ. IntelliJ. So IntelliJ is meant for Java development like Eclipse. It is also from the same company. PyCharm and IntelliJ are both are from the same company. So for working with IntelliJ, by default it is supporting for Java. You can also install Python plugin and you can work with Python development projects. So generally we will use PyCharm in 90% of the projects for working with PyCharm, Python development. So if it is like mostly like a .NET development, ASP.NET development, HTML, CSS, JavaScript development, you will go for VS Studio, VS Code. So if it is purely a Python development, you will go with PyCharm. So PyCharm is having some top rating than any another IDEs. Yes, you can also achieve the same thing which we are doing it in the PyCharm, in the Visual Studio Code as well as in the IntelliJ. But my recommendation is to go with PyCharm. So PyCharm is a most popular IDE. Now what you need to do, once you know it is the most popular IDE, as like Python, you need to install PyCharm. How you can install PyCharm? So PyCharm comes with two versions. PyCharm comes with two versions. One is professional. Professional. So any IDE, not only PyCharm, any IDE if you take, they will come with two versions. One is professional and is community edition. Community edition. So professional edition, you need to pay some upfront amount so that you will be getting some additional features as well. So community edition is only meant for pure Python development, which you can't be using it for production things. So this is what the thing which they'll be having as a restriction with the community edition. So community edition is lot more enough to work with automation or to work with Python development. So in this particular course, you will be installing this community edition. Don't worry, I'll be showing how you can install this from the website. Also, I have shared yesterday Google Drive with some of the people. I am not sure who has not received. In that particular Google Drive also, I will be placing this Python as well as a PyCharm files so that you can directly just download them and you can install it in your machine. I have already shared the Google Drive. Just go and check. If you have already registered, you will get that particular access. Right now, in this particular course, we will download this particular PyCharm, which is a community edition, and we will install this in my local machine. So installation guides, all these things I have specified in the material. Don't worry. If you have some confusion during installation, you can just refer that particular document. Now, just go to this Google as like Python search, Python download search. What you need to do, just search for PyCharm download. PyCharm download. Once you search for PyCharm download, this is what the window which you can see. Just click on this particular download PyCharm. You can see it here at the very beginning. It is what a business stunt. Most of the people might think that there is no community edition, there is only professional edition, so just click on download, just go ahead. But don't worry, just scroll down. Once you scroll down, you can see there is a Python community edition. So most of the people will not see this particular option. Just you need to scroll down. So at the very beginning, once you click on this particular link, you will land onto this particular page. Don't download this Python professional version. It is a paid tool. Just scroll down, you will be seeing this PyCharm community edition option, which is meant for IDE for pure Python development. So just click on download if you are using Windows. If you are using some another operating system, just click on download. You'll be seeing Linux, Mac, and other operating system versions as well. Right now, I'm just downloading this Windows version. Just click on download. Once you click on download, you can see this particular Python community version will be downloaded to your downloads folder. So it is taking some time. You can see it here. It's almost 457 MB. Yes, I'll be sharing this some updated file with you guys in the Google Drive. Just download that, install it in your local machine. No need to search for this in the Google, as well as with respect to Python as well. I'll be sharing those doc files as well in the Google Drive. Just use that for your reference. It is almost 457 MB. It is taking some time. It's almost 435, 457. Yes, it is almost done. It is taking some time to complete. Yes, it is done. Let me open this. Click on downloads. Once you click on downloads, it is taking some time to even execute. So just wait for two more or I mean some 10 to 20 seconds. I think it will be completing. Just click on. No need to click anything. Yeah, fine. That will be fine. It may take some time to parse this. So that is the reason. You can yeah, it is already downloaded right now. Now what you can do, just double click on that as like Python, what you have done for Python. So once you double click on that, so it is asking for some options. You can see it here. Right now I already have the same thing PyCharm already installed in my local machine. Just for your understanding, I'm making you understand. So if you can see, it is asking for this particular options. Click next. So it's only a community edition setup welcome window. Just click on next. Once you click on next, you can see it here, uninstall old version. Right now I am having some version in my local machine, so that is the reason why it is saying uninstall some old version. Don't worry, if you have PyCharm already in your local machine, just click on just check this particular checkbox. Click on next. So just click on next, next, next like this. And at one particular point of time, you'll be able to see this particular option as like a Python. Add Python 3.9 to path with version. This is what it is showing. Now this will be showing you for PyCharm as well. You can see it here. This is what the PyCharm community edition for creating desktop shortcut along with add bin folder to path. So if you see this particular option at the time of clicking next, next, next like this in this particular window, what you need to do, you need to check this particular option. Otherwise, environmental variables will not be updated with bin folder of PyCharm variable. It is very important. Like I have said, if you want to run from any location of your system, you need this to be added to environmental variables. Now, I have already installed PyCharm in my local machine. I'm just canceling this. Now, what you need to do, you need to open PyCharm. Once you install PyCharm, once you installed PyCharm, it's time to open PyCharm and to create a project. So if you can see it here, just click on this search file, or otherwise at the time of installation, what you have done, you have checked this particular PyCharm community edition desktop shortcut. Just in the desktop also, you'll be seeing that particular PyCharm community edition. You can just click on that. But generally, most people what they are doing, that I'll be showing to you that as well. So click on the search button. So search for PyCharm. So once you search for PyCharm, you can see this is what the file which you will be seeing. Just click on open. Once you click on open, at the very beginning, you'll be seeing this particular window as it is. You can see it. This is what the window you'll be seeing as it is, without any difference. You'll be seeing this particular window. Just click on new project if you want to create a new project. If you are having already some existing projects, you can just click on open. And there is a version control system like GitHub or Bitbucket or Azure repos. If you have any project from Git version control system, you can get that particular project by using this particular option, get from version control system. Any of the options you can use, but for now I have not made you understand what is version control system, what is Git or Bitbucket. So don't go with but this particular option. Yes, you will be learning this version control system as well once you are up to date with all the concepts which we'll be going to discuss. Click on a new project for now. If you have already something in place, just click on open. Now I'm just clicking on this new project. You can see you can give the name. What is that particular name? Selenium Python batch. So what is that particular batch name? This is what the batch name which I am just creating. You can create with some appropriate name. This is what the project name which I am giving. So it is BJL727. This is what my code actually, which I specify for each and every batch. There is some code. Don't worry with this. Now, where this particular project is created inside users Dell, inside PyCharm projects. This is what the root folder where all the projects which you create will be placed here. Now, if you can see, interpreter type is virtual environment. For every project, you need to create some virtual environment. What is that virtual environment? So, VENV is the virtual environment. This name itself says V is one word, ENV is another word. Virtual environment. Let me write it here. Virtual environment. Virtual environment. Very, very important terminology, guys. Environment. Why we need virtual environment for each and every project? Otherwise, we can avoid this virtual environment as well by creating in one place. So, but don't go with that. You need to specify or you need to select this particular option, Python project virtual environment, and this is what the Python which you have installed in your local machine. So you can see it here. So these are the previous Pythons which I have already installed and placed in my local machine. Right now I'll be selecting these only. So if you can see, don't worry with this particular option, it will be automatically selected by PyCharm. And as I have said, it is saying that project virtual environment. Why this virtual environment is required? Virtual environment is required for the project to run. So for the project to run. The reason is project required some dependencies, some libraries, some packages. If those packages are present only, then this particular project will run. Otherwise, it will not be run. So all those packages, all those libraries, all those dependencies, once you install, are present in virtual environment. Virtual environment. In virtual environment only, you'll be having all the site packages, all the libraries, all the dependencies, all packages, so that your project can run. So it is very, very important, virtual environment. Why virtual environment is used? Virtual environment is automatically created when you create a project. So in virtual environment, you will be having some dependencies or libraries meant for project to run. So this is what you need to understand. If anybody asks you, you need to be in a position to convey them in this way. So just click on this PyCharm project. So you can see I have already given the name in this particular location. I am just creating this particular project. Otherwise, if you want to change the location, what you can do, just click on this particular folder icon. You can select appropriate location. Just click on cancel. I am not going to save it anywhere. By default, PyCharm will create in this particular root folder, PyCharm projects. So if you can see, just click on create. So once you click on create, new project will be created. Just maximize this. You can see creating virtual environment. Right from now onwards, whatever you install, it will be there in the virtual environment in your local machine. So when I execute this particular project, you can see it here. It will be automatically executed without any issue. So as an assignment today, what you need to do, you need to install this Python, PyCharm, all the stuff. Along with these, you need to explore PyCharm. Yes, we'll be going to know all these things one by one in the coming sessions. But for now, this is what a simple assignment for you. Yes, I will make you understand what is edit new file code. But for now, I am not making you understand. I want you to explore. The reason is we'll be learning all these things one by one going ahead. But for now, just do this as an assignment. This is what the project which you will be seeing it here. This is what the version control. This is what the to do which you need to do. This is what the problems. If you write any code, definitely if you make some mistakes like syntax error, indentation error, all these things are highlighted here along with the warnings also. This is what the terminal. One of the most important advantage of using this PyCharm is with the terminal. You can see it here. This terminal is also nothing but the command prompt which you are using in your local machine. The same thing is enabled here. You can use the Python packages, services, what are there, and you can see you can click on file, right? So you can click on a new project, version control, new, click on scratch file. All these things are self-explanatory. You no need to bother about this anything. Within 1 or 2 days, if you write the code, you'll be getting all these things how you can use this PyCharm editor. Don't worry guys, it is very very easy. I hope most of the people thinking that it is very complex. Don't worry, it is very very easy. You will only will let me know how this works. So right now I will only create one simple directory. So if you can see it here, so to create a directory, this is what the project name. Right click on that particular project, click on new. Once you click on new or mouse over onto new, when I'm saying mouse over, just scroll your mouse onto new. So if you can see, it is asking for file. You can create a file, scratch a file, directory, package also, python file also. What is difference between a package, what is difference between a directory, you will understand going ahead. Don't worry, all these things are taught in a clear cut way. But for now, if you don't understand some things also, don't worry, that what I make you very clear. So just click on directory. You need to give the some directory name. So this is what day one directory. So in the day one only, we are going to create some code. So this is what the actual session, day one session. Yesterday's is somewhat demo session. Today's is somewhat an actual session. You can see it. Just click on enter. Once you click on enter, you can see this is what the day one folder. Inside day one, I'm just creating one simple Python code, Python file. As like how you have created this day one folder, likewise, just click on this day one, click on new, come here, click on Python file. So you need to give the name of Python file. Right now, just I am giving hello world. Hello world. This is what the simple module or Python file which we will be creating, so that we will be executing this Python code. So if you can see, once you click on enter, once you click on enter, you can see hello world.py. Any file with .py extension is called as a module. You need to be very clear with this particular point. Don't worry, this also is mentioned in one place, which I'll be sharing you that particular material once that particular class commences. So any file, for no, for your understanding, just for now I am making you clear, any file with a .py extension is called as an module. Now, inside this particular module, let me create some statements. So if you can see, let me do one thing. Print off. This is my first program. This is my first program. You can see it here. This is what the simple thing which I am just doing it here, guys. So don't worry. We'll be seeing a lot of complex code going ahead. But for now, for your understanding, I'm just creating only simple things. Now, let me print. Sunny Leon, right? Along with Shah Rukh Khan, right? These are some simple things which I'm just printing, right? Along with this, what I will do, I will just print 10 plus 10 divided by 20, right? Along with, I will just print this particular list multiple times. Suppose 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4, this is what the list. I want to repeat the items in the list multiple times, so that I will use this repetition operator. What is repetition operator, what is concatenation operator, you'll be understanding going ahead. Now, once you have written your Python code, how many ways you can execute your Python code in the IDE? Once you install Python, you have seen 3 ways how you can execute your Python code. Similarly, once you install your PyCharm, once you write any code in the PyCharm, how many ways you can execute your PyCharm, your code in the PyCharm. So if you can see, ways to run, this is what the thing which we are there, ways to run your code in PyCharm. So if I make you understand ways to run your PyCharm code. So there are 3 ways how you can run your PyCharm code. PyCharm code very easily. First one is right click anywhere on the module and click on run. So this is what the first way. Along with this way, there are 2 more ways as well. Click on green run button on top right corner, top right corner. This is another way. We'll see all these ways, don't worry. Now there is another way, that is, you can just open terminal and execute that particular python file, right? python prefix python prefix. So these are three different ways of how you can run your Python code. So just go to Python. What is the first way? Right click, not right click. Right click anywhere on the module and just click on run. So you can see this is what the module, and just right clicking. Once I right click, you can see there is a button run hello world. This is what the module name. Hello world is a module name. So just click on this run button. So once you click on this run button, you can see I have written multiple lines of code, not like in the IDLE. Once I write multiple lines of code, once I click on run, you can see all the code, I mean all the lines of code has been executed and the result has been printed in the console. This is my first program, Sunny Leon Shahrukh point 0.5, right? So don't think that this is another thing. This is just for your understanding. I'm making you these things 10 divided by 20. So you can see it here. This is what the list. I'm just printing elements of the list three times, multiple times. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So multiple elements are being printed in the console in multiple ways. So this is how you can execute. This is what the first way. What is that another way? Click on the green button, green run button on the top right corner. You can see this is where the top right, this is what the right corner on the top side. You can see there is a green button. Click on this green button. Once you click on this green button, you can see the same thing has been printed in the console. This is another way. Now, what is that another way? The another way is by using terminal. So just click on this terminal. Once you click on this terminal, you can see where this particular module is present inside day1. This day1 is present inside this particular root folder. This is what the root folder of the project. So inside this root folder, you are having day1. So you need to go to day1, cd day1, cd day1. Once you use this particular command, cd is nothing but a change directory. Guys, you need to know some basic Linux commands as well. But if you don't have some background, don't worry, I'll be sharing you some simple document which is having some 3 to 4 pages. Just learn that. Just revise that. It may not take even half an hour also, which are very enough for you to work with any operating system, that is with respect to Unix or Linux operating system. So if I use this particular command, cd means a change a directory. Right now you are in this root directory, but in this directory you are having day1. Just to go to day1. Inside day1 I am having this particular module. Just execute this particular module. How you can execute? You need to prefix first Python. Once you prefix Python, you need to specify that module name. So hello world or ld.py. This is what the module name. So once you specify that particular module name, just click on enter. Once you click on enter, you can see the same has been printed in the console. This is my first program, Shani Leon Sarkon 0.5. So this is what the elements in the list. This is what the third way, by using terminal. Generally, at the end of the day, we will run all our code using terminal only, because guys, whatever I am going to say to you, whatever I am making you understand right now, that I am doing in my current company. Not only me, all the IT professionals are behaving in the same way. At the end of the day, you need to execute your automation code in the agent machine. In the agent machine, you will not have any interface like this. You don't know which agent machine this particular code will be picked up, right? So all you need to do with the help of command line only. So for the DevOps people or the SRE people, you will give the command which you need to use for execution of this particular code. So all these things you will be getting whenever we are discussing the project. Don't worry. So with the perspective, I am making you understand with all these steps. So try to follow, try to practice this as it is. Otherwise you'll not be getting anything in place.